Welcome to the first Uplifting Corner of 2026. And can I take this opportunity to wish all of my listeners a fabulous, prosperous, healthy and happy 2026. Spreading the gratitude always for your listening ears, your comments, your donations and your likes and shares. Don't forget to click the bell notification on my YouTube channel, which is denisehedley.com, and select all so that you get all my uploads when I do them. So my show often covers matters that deserve serious discussion, but in life we need light as well as darkness. So here is this week's contribution, and I really hope you enjoy it. During the Christmas period in Britain, many musicals, old and new, are screened on the television, and many of them include at least one Cockney Londoner and not always played by someone who's British. Happy 100th birthday to Dick Van Dyke. And for those people who don't know who Dick Van Dyke is, he starred in the 1968 film Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and it was a musical fantasy where he played the Cockney Londoner. You know, that cheeky characterisation of a cheeky chappie with a distinct London accent ready to break into song at the drop of a hat. The definition of a Cockney is someone born within the sound of the Bow Bells, referring to the bells of St Mary le Bow Church in the East End of London. One of the distinctive features of Cockney heritage is Cockney rhyming slang, which first appeared in the 1840s, and new words and phrases have been added by each generation since. For example, in rhyming slang, a loaf of bread means head, and using your loaf is now commonly used throughout the UK to mean using your brain. I'm now going to read a few more better known examples in the form of a quiz, and let's see how well you can do. Number 1, Adam and Eve. Often used in the phrase such as, would you Adam and Eve it? What do you think that is? That means believe. How about this one? Apples and pears. It said, get up those apples and pears. Any thoughts? Stairs. Get up the stairs. Pork pies. As it's said to be, stop telling porcupines. Mr. Keir Starmer has lots and lots of porcupines which he tells the public. This is a very commonly and well-known one. Rosie Lee. Can I have a cup of Rosie Lee? Of course it means a cup of tea. Whistle and flute. Do you like my whistle? My new whistle. Oh, I see. I didn't know this one. It actually means, do you like my new suit? I have a few that I'm gonna, I've got at least one that I can think of off the top of my head. Boat race, often used within the context of, that's a nice boat race, or that's not a nice boat race. Boat race means face. How about this one? My plate of meat are killing me. This is not a vegan-based joke. Plate of meat means feet. Have you got any Cockney rhyming slang that you'll be happy to share on the podium? Don't be shy, jump up and give me your thoughts. And you know what? When I was researching this, I came across the old Pearly Kings and Queens, some pictures of the Pearly Kings and Queens. And I don't know if people are familiar with them, but I associate Cockney rhyming slang with markets, the East End. Obviously, I grew up in Hackney, so Hackney used to hear a lot of different types of Cockney rhyming slang and different types of language because it was very multicultural. But I also remember the Pearly Kings and Queens and the festivals or activities locally where they would come out And for those people who don't know about the Pearly Kings and Queens, they basically were just local residents who used to dress up for events, and all of their clothes used to have tiny little buttons sewn on it and small little emblems. And when you looked at them from a distance, it looked like pearls essentially, but they were just little small white buttons. And I looked at some pictures of that, and it kind of took me back into that era. And I thought to myself, gosh, you know what? Sometimes you don't realize just how long you've been around until you start looking at some stuff and you're thinking, God, was that in the 70s? Was that like in the 80s? Yeah, basically it was a throwback moment. Have you had any throwback moments recently? Something you was doing took you completely in an opposite direction and took you back to a time where made you think about the past, or a piece of music, or I don't know, like me, when I was researching this, that I stumbled across the Pearly Kings and Queens, and I kind of reminisced a little bit about my early days at school and how that used to work. You know, I remember the 1979 Jubilee. There were so many Pearly Kings and Queens out that day. I think it was the Diamond Jubilee or Silver Jubilee. And I think we had the Corsage drive past the school. It was roasting hot. And I remember standing outside waving the Union Jack, which had coloured in with crayon from the little people. There were bare Pearly Kings and Queens out that day. And I remember it was so hot, you could fry an egg on the side of the road. Anyway, any thoughts about my uplifting corner, Pearly Kings and Queens, or your mind taking you in a completely different direction that you didn't intend it to start with when you started looking at something else? Let me know. Jump up on the mic. Don't be shy. And glad to still have you with me in 2026. See you next week. Don't forget to make a donation and cut!